4, correct?
Is that 14 through 23?
Yeah, the whole page.
Well, the whole page? Yes, yes, sir, yes.
And in that, you indicate that that you felt your role was just to be there in the background to support, you know, not really be over the top, because of course my parents wanted to be the ones to go over the top. Their grandparents, but just be there. That correctly reflects your parents' response to the imminent birth of their granddaughter, does it not?
In regards to them wanting to be over the top?
Yes, that is a description of their emotion, how they felt about it, their excitement. That's what you meant to convey by that, didn't you?
Speculation.
Asking what he meant to convey by the answer.
You can ask that question, yes or no.
I believe that was the impression that I was under. I mean, I wasn't asked to be involved with things, so all I could deduce from that is my role was to sit back, be non-judgmental, as I referenced in there, be in the background, and they would take care of it. They would do whatever's necessary, and their nature would be to be over the top.
What preparations in the house did they make for the imminent birth of Kaylee?
I believe they got her a crib.
Didn't they redecorate?
What else? I don't remember.
Didn't they redecorate an entire room? What had formerly been a family computer room that they completely redecorated for Kaylee?
To my knowledge, yes. I wasn't personally involved in it, but to my knowledge, yes.
But you saw it, correct?
After the fact, yes, sir.
Right. And it's, your parents, particularly your mother, never does anything halfway. It was decorated to the nines, wasn't it?
From everything that I got to see eventually, absolutely, yes, sir, it was.
And that was in preparation for Kaylee's arrival.
I imagine during preparation it was like that. If she'd do everything she could, yes, sir.
Well, you were there during the period of time leading up to Kaylee's birth, weren't you?
I lived there. I lived in the room right next door, actually.
And you know that your mother went nuts decorating this room for the birth of her first grandchild. Winnie the Pooh everywhere.
I know there was Winnie the Pooh everywhere. Again, I never walked in the room. I never went into the room until a little bit after the fact that after she was born. But I could imagine that she did that ahead of time, absolutely.
And your mother and your sister went shopping and bought all kinds of stuff in anticipation of Kaylee's birth.
I'm sure they did.
And they had a party, didn't they?
If they did, I wasn't invited.
Should they have a baby shower?
If they did, I wasn't invited.
Were you aware of them having a baby shower?
Yes, I believe so. It was in maybe June or so.
And they invited their friends, they invited Casey's friends. Did they invite Mallory?
I don't believe so.
You believe so?
I said I don't believe so.
But you know that they had a party.
I wasn't invited, so if whatever did transpire, I have no knowledge of it.
Well, where were you when the party occurred? Let me rephrase. It happened at the house, correct?
I would imagine.
Well, I mean, you saw the aftermath. You saw all the presents and all the stuff that people got for Kaylee. It was at the house, right?
I didn't put any thought into it. I didn't ask to see presents, and I didn't go out of my way to do so. It was something, sir, that I was not involved in. It was something, sir, that was, I felt for a while, that was either hidden from me or something that I was not being made a part of. So I'm not going to go out of my way to invite myself or to know everything that's going on if I'm led to believe that I shouldn't be involved with it. So if that hopefully answers your question on why I wasn't an attentive potential uncle, I wish I was, but I was not.
But your parents weren't hiding this fact from their friends and loved ones. They invited them to a party.
Witness's knowledge of what his parents would do with their friends.
Sustained.
During this deposition, Mr. Anthony, we discussed the period of time leading up to the birth of your niece, and we discussed, in fact, whether you were present when she was born. Is that correct? Recall that?
I don't recall if we did, as far as me being present or not.
Okay. Page 36, just for the witness, line, let me just make sure this is only published for the witness. Yes. Line 22 and to the end of the page. Just, highlight that for the witness. You recall that question and answer?
I see the portion of my answer, yes, sir, and I recall the question.
Did you cry during that portion of this deposition, Mr. Anthony? Do you recollection?
Don't recall if I did. I don't think so.
What was different 2 hours ago in this courtroom about that question that caused such raw emotion today, which was not present 2 years ago when you were asked the same thing?
There was other things that were asked in my deposition, specifically if I believed Kaylee was...
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive, move to strike. The question, Mr. Anthony, is this.
Yes, sir.
What was different about the question being asked of you?
I think we just need to hear what the answer is.
I sustain objection to the question.
Question before you, Mr. Anthony, is this. What was different about the way, the emotion with which you answered that question 2 hours ago? It was different than the emotion that you did not display when asked the same question 2 years ago.
2 years ago, I did not 100% hold the belief that Kaylee was dead. At this very moment, and 2 hours ago, and during that 2 year span, I've come to the place where I believe that she is, and my emotions are elicited from those facts that I have regrets, and I wish I could have been there a lot more than I was.
Mr. Anthony, you attended and spoke at a memorial service for Kaylee in January of 2009, 6 months before this deposition was taken, didn't you?
Yes, sir, I did.
No further questions.
Redirect us to those issues.
Mr. Anthony, you were asked about a stain somewhere in this vicinity, the size of a basketball. May I publish this, Your Honor? To both the jury and...
Yes, what's the exhibit number?
80.
States Exhibit 80, you may publish.
Yes, I was asked about that.
Do you see a basketball-sized stain there, or...
Photograph speaks for itself.
Overruled.
Do you see any basketball-sized stain there at all?
I see a few stains, nothing necessarily that's the size of a basketball, though.
Do you see white powder of some sort?
The photograph speaks for itself. The witness has no basis to answer that question.
Overruled.
I do, and that's not what I would even reference necessarily as a stain that I was referring to. A white powder is a lot different than a stain.
Point to me where you see a stain in that area where Mr. Ashton was questioning.